Hello and welcome. My name is Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to add HTV to paper. So if you didn't know, the HTV product that you might use on shirts like this one can also be put on paper. Now why would you want to put HTV on paper? So my top reasons are, first of all, that it's easy to cut. So I find HTV a little bit easier to cut than some of the cardstocks. And then when you cut it really intricate and small, it's easy to weed and easy to keep in location. So if I have super small cuts made out of cardstock, I find them hard to get off the mat, number one. And number two, I find them hard to get in location, gluing them down and assembling a paper craft. Then when you put it on paper, it's so thin it's almost flat to the surface. So it makes a really cool project as well. So now let's take a look at the supplies we're going to use and make a project using HTV on paper. The supplies you're going to need are as follows. So I have two different colors of HTV. Does not matter what colors or if you just have one. And then I have a couple different colors of paper because I'm going to make the banner with hearts. Then a weeding tool for the HTV. I have some string where I'm going to string my banner up. Now for pressing you'll need a heat source. And then I like a firm mat so I don't deform my paper. So I have this heat resistant mat from Artistry. And then I also like to cover my paper with some kind of protective sheet to prevent the paper itself from burning. So I have some butcher paper. You could use parchment paper, sublimation protected paper, whatever you have on hand. Just something to protect the paper while you press. And yes, the carrier sheet from the HTV will do that, but I like a little extra assurance when dealing with paper. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my designs from both paper and HTV, and I will link to some videos below if you're a beginner and don't know how to make the cuts with your Cricut machine. You can reference those at this time. So I cut some hearts out of paper, and then out of the HTV I'm cutting this design to go on top of them. So I'm going to go ahead and weed this one. So you do want to weed everything away. And of course, one of the reasons I like this method is that it's easy to remove. So these super small hearts in this design would drive me crazy getting them off the mat if they were made of paper. And then keeping everything, like if this design was critical where you kept everything exactly in place, keeping all those paper pieces in place is also something that I personally struggle with. So those are a couple of reasons why I choose to use HTV for this. I do find it makes projects like this one a ton quicker. So I've already weeded the second color of HTV here. And so now let's take a look at pressing the HTV to the paper hearts. The HTV I'm using is Caesar Easy Weed, and it is a 305-degree press. Now it says 10 to 15 seconds. Generally, if you're pressing on paper, you can press for about half the time. So I have it set for 8 seconds, and we'll just see if that works. You can always increase later, but using less time, less temperature is better for paper. So if you're using a higher temperature HTV, like a 350 HTV, something like that, you might want to bump the temperature down and try it for the full time. You just don't want to get the paper too hot. So I can locate this on the paper, again locating all the hearts at once. And I like to cover everything up. Now the carrier sheet does cover most of it, but there is some exposed paper and I don't want to burn the paper with the Easy Press, so I'm just going to cover this up. Now I'm using the Easy Press. I'm using the small version for ease on the video. You can use any Easy Press, any heat press, even an Easy Press Mini would probably work here, or an iron. And then we'll just do 305 for 8 seconds, and medium to light pressure is fine. Then Caesar Easy Weed is hot or cool peel, so you can go ahead and peel it hot. Everything is stuck beautifully. Now to cool, you might want to put it under your heat resistant mat because the paper might curl just slightly due to the heat. And cooling it flat will help that. I'm going to continue on and make some more hearts, and then we'll make a banner. Here are my finished hearts ready to add to my string for a banner. Now, I do love the HTV on paper because you can barely feel it. There's nothing standing off of the surface, and it's really adhered well. So now I'm just going to add these alternately to my string just with some hot glue. So just some hot glue, a little bit on the back of each one. Then I can just add the string. Use my little fingertip here for hot glue to hold that into place while it cools. and then just continue on to the next heart. So I'll just keep doing this until I have a banner. And here's our completed Valentine's Day banner made in minutes with HTV on paper. So here's my completed banner with HTV on paper, and you saw just how easy it was to add this super intricate design to these hearts. Now I made a paper banner, but think about this for all of your paper crafts, including cards and so much more. If you're doing paper and making intricate cuts and tired of trying to assemble them, HTV might be the solution for you. So if you have any questions about anything we've covered today, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you liked this video, if it helped you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.